Good morning everyone, I'm Natalie Moss. This is Natural Flow Alchemy. I'm bringing you a tarot reading today from the She-Wolf Tarot deck. This channel has been around concepts and conversations, which is morphing into a center for my holistic interior design. And holistic interior design is all about the spaces and the environments that we live in, how our environments support us to live in alignment with our true selves, in alignment with our energy, and understanding how our lifestyle impacts our home as well as our home impacts our lifestyle, and working on how to bring that all into alignment. So I use human design, I'll be using tarot, I'll be using feng shui principles. What else? We're going to be using a lot of things from this and that, from here and there. Today we're dealing with the human design transits. So we've got the sun in gate 23 and we've gone into line 2, and the earth is in 43 and we've gone into line 2 with the 43. So what that is the 23 and the 43 is a whole channel linking the throat to the ajna. This is all about bringing down breakthroughs. It's highly individual. We can be having a lot of conversations around new ideas, new concepts. Maybe they're a bit mutative and individual, so maybe not everyone's going to understand them right away. What the 43 and the 23, that channel is all about, bringing down these key concepts and needing to repeat them and needing to sort of almost like knead them like bread dough, like dough. We're kneading it and kneading it and kneading it, and eventually it becomes bread, but it doesn't look like bread right away, it's dough. So that's kind of like the concept with this channel. So that's going on in the transits for everybody picking that up. If somebody has one of those, either the 23 or the 43, they're going to have that full activation of that channel. So that's one of the themes that we're looking at. So we're going to do a bit of a card spread. This is pretty general. And my audience, if you're here, then I'm really speaking to creatives, healers, wise ones, people who are really curious and interested in going a bit deeper as to the meaning of things and the why, and taking the time to cultivate themselves and their understandings of the world. So this is particularly for alchemical healers and creatives, people who are change makers, people within their own world, within their families, within their homes. They're wanting to get up off the seat and make a difference, and sometimes that is messy, and sometimes that is chaotic, and sometimes it fails, and sometimes we're really working towards those nuggets, the nuggets of gold, the jewels that we find in sort of in amongst chaos, in amongst kicking up the dust, kicking up pulling out the weeds, and not just accepting things. First card coming out, we have the 8 of Wands. So we'll go into reading these in just a second. I'll just pull a few out. So we've got 8 of Wands there. Yeah, so this is really, people who are taking an active interest in experiencing the life through the body, being here. This is really a mindful place. This is a mindful place to be. This is, a way of living which isn't rolling over and accepting not so much the limitations of the body, but honoring the limitlessness of the body, like honoring what it is the body can do without having the mind get in the way and have expectations or try and direct or guide the body. So this is a really new way of doing things. Woo! We have the King of Wands. So again, we'll go into that in a bit. So we've got the 8 of Wands and the King of Wands. So we've got some fire energy, some activation energy coming through. Let's get into that in just a moment. We'll just pull another couple. Yeah, so that's really where human design comes into this story, because human design has been really supportive with myself, my own process, and understanding how to split these aspects of self. Understanding firstly that these aspects of self, the mind and the body, are two entities that actually don't have a whole lot of reason for being together. These two elements that we have, mind and body, have come together in a type of union to experience this life as a pair. But we don't really know each other that well. We don't necessarily even know how to talk to one another, and that might sound a bit crazy, but as you go down the human design path, and what you understand is like your mind is working as a witness and a passenger to the life of the body. I'm someone particularly who identifies with having ailments, having injuries, having physical issues which have held me back and have, you know, caused concern, perhaps made me like make decisions in life with my mind, thinking about, you know, what I can and can't do with my body, and letting that sort of overwhelm me or change my course. And when I look back and I realize and I understand that that was my mind taking over what my body was perfectly equipped to get me through, you know, I kind of cut certain journeys short. There were certain things that needed to be fulfilled or could be fulfilled, or, you know, that I would have enjoyed or rather done, but I kind of cut that out for myself. And I got a bit of a bundle, so I'm just going to keep on shuffling. And so, yeah, that's been a incredible help for myself, to help reorient, to kind of get back to a place where I feel very clear and sure and confident around what my body is here to do, and relaxing the mind into a state of witness. And, you know, then I get to enjoy things. You really get to enjoy the experience of life so much more when you understand that you're just watching, and that you don't have to, you know, plan everything or necessarily strategize. Strategy does turn up in a couple of different ways, but we'll talk to that another time. We've got 4 of Pentacles and we've got Mercury. So very interesting. So we've got 8 of Wands, King of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, and Mercury here in this deck. Let's just take a moment and have a little look at these. Let's get into the reading. All right. Clearing and pausing. All right. With the 8 of Wands, we've got fire energy here. A lot of things can be coming in fast. A lot of things can be happening at once. It's like this is like the it doesn't rain, it pours energy. Like nothing's been happening for a while. There's been no action, and now suddenly there's lots of movement, lots of action. That can feel a little bit overwhelming. It can lead us sometimes into a bit of reckless activity, or get us to be feeling a bit anxious, like we can't necessarily hold all of this that's happening. But we've got a lot of indication with the power of the King of Wands that we do have this ability to contain our line of action between 2 abysses. So that's what this card really holds, between Scorpio and Sagittarius. This is the Kundalini, the serpent's rising, and the extreme heat and the extreme cool of those 2 snakes. And this ability for the king to be able to balance and to have clear passage and to be able to rise up the center, balancing these extreme heats and extreme cools, you know, to come through and to make a defined and considered strong energy packed with vitality, which is, you know, all about Wands King is vitality. So we're really being told that we have the strength to navigate through the various circumstances, situations, actions, things that are taking on place around us. And of course, with the 4 of Pentacles, we're really wanting to create something stable and balanced that we can feel, you know, assured that we can grow through and grow from. So this is definitely about being measured and considered with, you know, and with the material, because it's Pentacles, we're talking about resources and finances and anything that benefits us on the material plane. So it can be to do with, you know, spending and how we're looking at our money, how we're spending, but it's definitely about creating this stability and this stable place which we can then grow from. And with that being said, like it can come with a little bit of fear that, you know, we could lose once we start to build. We could be worried that we're going to lose what we've built. But we've got the backing of the King of Wands. So the activity that's going on, we have the capacity to rise up through the center and to hold it, and to really be trusting the process of building a stable future. You know, as we take things slow, as we take things measured. And it has, you know, a lot feeding into it to do with Mercury, which is a secret arcana. It's a bonus card that we have here in the She-Wolf Tarot. And, you know, Mercury, all the properties of Mercury is clear communication. How are we clearly using our voice and our words? How are we articulating what it is that we want? Are we telling people what we want? Are we telling people what we expect? So this is about, you know, ensuring that we come to the plate with clarity. We work on our message. We express what it is that we're here to express. And there's a lot of, you know, power in what we're able to express. So it's taking, you know, maybe it's taking an extra minute to consider what it is that you want to put out into the world. It can be taking the time to communicate to loved ones about what our intentions are. And sometimes I know from experience it can be a little bit wobbly when you want to maybe share your desires or share things that you have intentions around, because it can get corrupt. There can be corruption if other people don't have the same type of vision, or maybe they don't agree, or they don't have faith in what you're doing. So like if in the past we've been cautious around what it is that we are expressing, now is the time to like activate that King of Wands, stand in that power of being able to clearly articulate what we want, what we need, what we intend. Of course, maintaining that balance and poise and keeping things stable and steady. So there's no need to rush with the events that are coming in. We're staying, you know, staying grounded and staying strong and just accepting things as they come. Also, the Eight of Wands here, we do have, this is another Mercury card. So it's Sagittarius in Mercury. So we're kind of like, this reading is bookended by Mercury's. So this is also because it's a Sagittarius card. It can be to do with, you know, needing some of the better pleasures in life, needing to rejuvenate self, maybe with some rest, relaxation. It can be sensual pleasure, sexual pleasure, kind of stoking the fires that are exciting and bring excitement into your life and into your world. So, you know, sometimes it can be balancing the activity of the things that are coming in with ensuring that we're adding in that self-care or those exciting elements without getting taken off on a tangent. I wanted to complement this reading with a animal spirit card from Kim Kranz. What's animal spirit energy that's guiding us, connecting us to this message today? Calling in power of all of our higher timelines, our higher selves. This is the wisdom and the guidance of ourselves beyond what we can see, what we understand, beyond the boundaries of time and space. What's coming through? I got 4 cards. I do want to share them. So we're going to share them. We've got the fish, the sea serpent, the bat, and the snake. This is really interesting and connects very much. Those 4 cards really connect. The fish can be like, because the fish loves movement, loves to be moving around through flowing waters. So we can, with the fish energy, be moving on to too many things at once. So it's about, you know, picking something and focusing on it and bringing a small goal into completion. With the sea serpent there, it's a lot about self-protection and self-acceptance. You know, there's a lack of judgment for the emotional waters that we might be swimming through. And there's a great deal to do with creativity and what we're creating and making. And it has a protective sense of like a protective shield around us while we cultivate, while we come to clarity through the emotional waters of creativity. With the bat there, we've got this kind of shifting perspective in a sense, or this, you know, when we go into the dark, we go into night, we see things that are invisible to us in the day. So there is this element of kind of looking at things in potentially a different way and using your senses and really coming to a place of keen awareness. And it's really great to bring into balance. We want to be watching a sunrise. So this is like coming to the end of that journey. And with the fish, we're actually wanting to connect to lunar activity. So this is really interesting. Maybe you need to have an all-nighter, which is what I've been saying for a long time. I just have nothing to do all night, but I need an all-nighter. These are also all do have to do with communication and how we are, especially with, you know, picking up on different ways of communicating, ways of sensing, and you know, how we bring our creative vision into, and how we communicate that creative vision. And obviously with the snake that eats itself, the Ouroboros. Interesting that we're talking a lot about communication and I start to stumble. But we've got a lot of creativity here with the snake. It's also fast moving. So with this fast moving energy, it's time to move. It's time to strike. It's time to, you know, activate that creative energy and to move forward. So connecting this to our earlier cards, with it, you know, the fish really connects to the 8 of Wands. We're seeing there, like, there can be a lot of things going on, a lot of things happening at once, but just stay measured, stay considered, move through them one at a time, understanding that you do have, you know, the creative power to pull in that balance and to rise up the middle, and to achieve the actions that you set out to achieve. With the serpent there protecting you while you are extracting or expressing what it is that, you know, is coming through authentically and organically, what it is that you're here designed to channel. And with the bat, it kind of lines up with the 4 of Pentacles here. So we're looking at things in sort of a different way, a different light, what is illuminated in the dark, and letting things take their time and take their process as well. Being, and obviously with the 4 of Swords, it's, you know, considered resources. So with the bat, you know, we're working with a certain set of senses and a certain set of resources that we need to, like, wait for that time to attune to. We need to wait for the night time to attune to. And with the Mercury and the snake, it's really like, how are we expressing our creative vision? How are we communicating to the world what it is that comes through us? So there's a lot of themes about communication and action. With fire, there's a lot of vitality here. There's a lot of movement. There's, you know, a lot of busyness. So it's just keep your head, feel that inner strength, take a deep breath. You know, the orienting with our elements, we've got a few elements here. You know, the King of Wands is the sun and the moon. With the fish, we want to balance by tuning in with the lunar cycles. And with the bat, you know, we want to see that sunrise. So there's a lot here to do with tuning into the cycles of the environment. You know, what are those sun transits? What are the moon transits? I think the moon, we talked earlier about in human design, the sun is in gate 23, the moon, the earth is in gate 43, and the moon is in gate 50.6. So, you know, there we've got this kind of innocence in leadership, and it's the gate of values, rules, and laws. So it's what are the values that are driving us? What are we reflecting on to say this is what, you know, in the past maybe we've missed the mark with standing by our values. Maybe we've come to a different conclusion. Maybe we've processed, and maybe we're relaxing again on, you know, needing things to be so rigid and rigid and controlled. Like maybe there's actually a relaxing going on because we've hit that line 6 energy, which is the line 6 is a role model, and it's very aloof, and it kind of has weighed up all of the lessons of the trigram below it. So when gate 50 hits line 6, we're really kind of stepping back, going, you know, at the end of the day, what are the most essential rules, laws, values that we want to be attuning to and taking forward with us? So, you know, that's for us to reflect in our practice. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I am Natalie Moss, and I am offering holistic interior design services. I use human design, and I use tarot, and I use feng shui principles, which maybe makes more sense in a home space. But I want to get to know my clients. I want to understand their homes, and I want to understand their lifestyles and help them attune into aligned living, organized, thriving in their spaces. So please contact me on my website, sunbakerstudio.com.au. I'm here in Sydney, Australia. So with that being said, have an absolutely beautiful day. I hope this has been helpful. Please comment below what resonated for you, what you feel connected to, and if you'd like to offer any of your insights, I would be loving to hear them. Thanks so much. Bye.